Good morning, Mount Olive Church. We want you to turn to Matthew 26 and 39 for our devotion. Matthew 26 and 39, and the key word is nevertheless. Nevertheless. So we read here this account of the very night that Jesus would be arrested and betrayed, the night before he would die on a cross, and we find a place in the Garden of Gethsemane where Jesus struggles. He faces some struggles, and we talked about that yesterday, the struggles of life that we face. And what's very important here is that Jesus took upon himself all these things and took it to the cross to gain victory. So Matthew 26 and verse 39, as Jesus was in the garden, as he was praying in the garden, it says he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "Oh, my Father." That prayer just communicates to us the suffering that he's in. "Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me." If there's a way, can we do this another way? Is there another option? And then he says, "Nevertheless." I like that. "Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will, according to your will." So in other words, this word nevertheless is a word of surrender. So Jesus says, I will empty me to do what you would have done. Jesus says, let it be less of me and what I want and more of you and what you want, God. I think that's very important. That's important because the Christian life, the Christian-filled life, is a self-emptied life. And I think, and I said it a couple times yesterday, one of the biggest things that will hinder the work of God is for us to be self-centered or us to put ourselves in the way. I don't know why they kept coming to me yesterday. And at our church and in this community, God's trying to really move. And one way that Satan would try to stop that is to put self in the way. One way that Satan tries to stop the work and the growth of a church is for my will to be above God's will. One way for the devil to hinder God's blessings and favor in our life is to put my will above God. More of me, less of him. When in fact it needs to be less of me, more of him. I must decrease. He must increase. We must surrender and say, more of you, God, and less of me. Pray over that this morning. Let God work that up in your heart and say, God, less of me and more of you.